Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Ntanzi. We're back again. It's that time of the morning. Listen, mungo to uzodusbuzu, hey, where do you guys come from? Hey, Bagit, we are from the dark world, the world of no light. Je, siphume emanzini amnyama. Uzofuna ukwazi wena ukuthi kwenzakalani. Sisemanzini amnyama kumanje. I had to go and borrow to get these lights on. So
it's been how many hours now? Hey.
Yeah, it
About
started.
4 hours.
Yeah, it started at 9. I think now it's to 1. So we can rest assured that by the time we finish, maybe 1:30, then electricity will be back. And then by that time we'll be going. So
Load shedding.
to keep you posted, and I'm sure many people are not here
Yeah.
for many reasons, but one of the main reasons is load shedding. So sukubuza ibhasi special now. Uyabona kuyenzakalani. Sukubuza kakhulu.
Donsa kanzima.
Sukubuza kakhulu.
Donsa kanzima eSouth Africa.
Nzima kaloku. Yabo, uyayivaka ngoku. Right. Greetings to everyone. Emily,
Yes.
we give you a chance to shoot.
Yo, let me just get into it. A lot happened today. So the lead investigator, and before I start, hi guys, welcome back to the Mncube Reality YouTube channel. This is where we patiently deliberate the Senzo Meyiwa Trial.
You do.
Yes. Lead investigator in the Senzo Meyiwa Trial, Brigadier Bongani Gininda. Well, he was back on the stand this morning to testify, among other things, on how he arranged officers who took down the confession statements from accused number 1 and number 2. And apparently there's also warning statements for accused number 3 and 4. However, number 5 did not have anything. Interesting. So the legal
That was the most stubborn one.
legal teams met separately outside, and proceedings were delayed, and word had it at the time that accused number 3 and 5 had refused to come to court. It wasn't clear in the morning what their reasons were. Accused 1 and 4 were sitting in the dock. Accused number 1, Muzisbia, and accused number 4, Maphisa, were the ones that were there. So as soon as the proceedings started and everybody was there, the state prosecutor, Judge Baloy, said that there was a problem. He didn't say what the problem was, but the defense counsels went to consult with the accused. Now, when they came back, Advocate Gomezulu, lawyer for accused number 1 and 2, said that Bongani Ntanzi was complaining that a certain Mr. Mlauzi, who transports him to prison, handcuffed him by his hands. When accused number 2 informed him that he is not a sentenced prisoner, he is an awaiting prisoner, or rather awaiting trial, he said no, because he was fighting in court. So for that reason, that's why he had to handcuff him in his hands. So he told him that he was not participating in the fight yesterday, but he insisted. So he requested that he should be replaced with another person who can transport him to prison if he's going to develop this attitude towards him. So it seems Bongani Ntanzi is not usually handcuffed because he is awaiting trial prisoner. He only wears leg irons or the chains around the legs. So the judge was like,
No, Kubega.
So the judge was like,
I
what?
have a serious problems this side.
What is the problem?
I'm resizing something and it doesn't want to be resized.
So Mkomezulu then said if they are using the iron legs, he believes that there must be a distinction between a sentenced prisoner and the one who's awaiting trial. And the judge said, is your client on bail? And Gomezulu said, no, he is in custody. And the judge asked if he applied for bail, and Gomezulu was like, he did, and it was refused. So the judge said, according to you, he is not sentenced. He doesn't want to be handcuffed because he is not a sentenced prisoner. And Gomezulu said, yes, my lord. What about the safety and security measures? They don't come into play, asking the judge. And Gomezulu was like, the only aspect that is relevant is the accusations of the official towards the accused, because it arises from what happened yesterday. It is not the normal cause of bringing the accused before court. And the judge asked Mr. Baloyi, what is your view? And Mr. Baloyi was like, safety is of paramount importance. I don't think Sergeant Mulawuzi would have willy-nilly decided to cuff him. He cannot be replaced just like that at the whim of an accused person. So right now we are getting that sense that, you know what, they're trying to portray every single one of those accused from 1 to 5 as very dangerous people who are violent and stuff like that and whatnot. But for the rest of us who managed to observe all the footages that was available, to listen to what the both sides of the story and not just one, we understand that some provocation took place there and nobody wants to acknowledge it. It's being swept under the rug, like that aspect doesn't matter, you know.
You know what the funny thing is? Were you ever reported?
Oh, he likes asking the question, did you ever report? Okay, Judge, they report today to you.
What did you do?
What did you do about it?
Nothing I can do. Right?
Yeah.
Nothing you can do. Well, let's forget about that. They're just showing you double standards. Just showing that the judge has double standards when it comes to these things. At least the last one ruled that this person should be kept in prison. At least that one had a bit of them Lokuzan. But I'm not going to call them because this channel is respectful, more so to old people. Stop trying to portray yourself as this holy cow that is really pushing for what you call for law. And then next thing, when you are something's you can do nothing. Obvious, you can do nothing. Okay. Now, number 2, this thing that is happening in court is meant to, for me, this is according to me, is meant to distract these accused. They seem to be more attentive when they're dealing with matters. They raise hands, they do everything. So now, with them being handcuffed, tight, and all that, they're not going to be able to focus on that. How can you focus on that when you have the whole iron pressing against your body flesh? You're not going to be able to do that in the hands and everywhere. I mean, let us be honest. Call a spade. Call a spade a spade. Call it what it is. What is happening is a distraction. What is happening here is an uneasy court. What is happening here is exerting power that I can get into you even here in court. That's what I'm seeing.
Level of intimidation.
Yes.
There's a change.
I'm still in charge.
Energy. There's a change of energy in that courtroom. And it's mainly there to, in my opinion, oppress the accused.
Yeah, I'm still in charge. And the media is helping. Wait, I'm sorry, Emil. I'm just going to talk more before we get into the gist of what is happening to court. Those people wearing the green shirts there who are claiming to be representing us as people, 10 of them. They might as well just wear...
You're not representing us after that nonsense you uttered with your mouth, sir.
Yeah.
No, you are
They
not
might as
for
well
us.
go and print their T-shirts behind the states.
Are they getting paid?
Like, people are hungry outside
Now we
here.
have to ask paramount questions.
I mean, people are hungry. They'll sing for anything. I mean, you're not there for us. Fiso is saying those people are not the ones.
Yes.
Family member. Do you
We are
understand?
not saying they are holy cows.
We are not
that
saying they are holy
innocent
cows.
and
No.
No. We are saying for this specific crime.
We don't believe that theory. As much as we try to analyze and be balanced. But I mean, you might as well take your
It's like
camera,
that man had
take
no
your
clue.
camera, join the crew, be a court of public opinion. Don't even try to portray yourself as this person who's standing for Senzo. You're not standing for Senzo there.
He off-ramped. He's like, the state is the representation.
They are attacking us. Who are they attacking? Who's us?
Attacking us.
Who's
when
us?
you attack the police, you attack the state, then it means you are no. You speak
I know for sure
yourself.
that I'm not part of that green t-shirt.
You speak for yourself, and those people in the green t-shirts don't include we, the people in there. No. We are clued up. We follow this case, unlike you.
I mean, now they are always wearing those shirts, and it's always 10 of them or
And they're
11
showing
of
up
them.
on specific days. Like for now, why show up now? Where have you been all along? If you were there sitting in that court every day, you'd understand what exactly is happening. Why did you need to show up after yesterday's incident? And worse, you don't even investigate and try to find out what exactly
Did
happened.
they even investigate? Do they need to investigate?
They just need to ask the other people who were
Do you
in
think
the
the
court
bots-
yesterday what happened.
Do you think the bots that you see on comments writing, do they need to investigate?
It's a check. Anything for a check, honey.
Those bots, those ones that are
Anything
writing there, it's a
for
check.
the money.
Yes,
Anything for this. It's needed in this economy.
obviously, this is our opinion, and it's alleged. There's nothing personal about it.
It is needed. Job.
How? Hey, not we are doing our job.
Job. Like,
Now we do your job as we are singing for wherever the wind is going.
but no, he off-ramped. He was just
How?
not. He's not with us.
You know, I always tolerate
He's
his
with something else.
voice that is.
But you know, Limika George Ngati is a challenge. It's like he doesn't understand what is going on. He's dizzy. But
Akavela
it's
khuluma
fine.
language yakhe mos.
It's
There's no
fine.
problem with
He
that.
needs to get clarity, and the best way to start was to just ask around.
No, he doesn't need any clarity.
Do
No,
you think so?
no.
He's pushing.
He's just there.
He's pushing for whatever he's pushing for.
You know, people always say we're standing for you. If it was according to me, obviously I would go and revoke my tax, not
True.
to be included in that defense.
True.
But I can't.
True. This
That's what we call democracy.
it's sad.
You choose without choosing. You lose, you choose. You win, you choose. So, let's continue, Amen.
Well, the judge said we are all aware that the Department of Correctional Services is a different department from the Department of Justice, and also it's a different department from the judiciary. He said, I don't have the authority to determine how the prisoners should be transported from their places of incarceration to court. Neither am I also seized with authority to determine how the Department of Correctional Services should enforce their safety precautions, and how also they need to conduct what one would term the decorum of this court in respect of what happened yesterday. It's obvious that there must have been a meeting of some sorts, and I'm not prejudging anything.
You are.
In the news, I heard
From
a
what you are
statement.
saying, you are.
In the news, I heard a statement being issued by
Isn't
the
this the
commissioner.
same guy who says this case is not run through the YouTubes and whatnot?
Yes.
What is he doing on the news
Yes. And why are you including that
in that
your-
court?
in your speech, in your judgment or whatever that was? And he said that by the Commissioner of Correctional Services. So consequently, I'm not going to make any comment on this. Maybe council should engage with the Department of Correctional Services.
Oh, that's your
Security
advice.
priorities can be taken up with them, and the court should not be seized with administrative issues which have no bearing to the actual court proceedings. Well, actually, they do, don't they?
It does.
They do. And this is the same man who wanted the accused to show
Now, does that-
how they laid complaints that they were assaulted and tortured.
Now, does that sound like someone who's going to consider that you were tortured and taken for hours and hours to sleep in a garage, the so-called garage, empty spaces, whatever you may call it? No. Sounds like someone who's convinced that this is what I need to do.
Now, he's not interested in fighting for their rights. Okay. So it seems, he's not interested in them. He's really not interested.
Cannot even help himself, eh?
No, he can't. He doesn't care. And that's okay because, it is what it is. But don't stop bringing up this thing of, should they have filed the complaint? Because it's pointless. Look
I'm
at how
sure you would have
handled
even still find
the
them
situation.
guilty even if they did, depending on a
You've
verdict
already made up your mind. So
that this cop would make.
I don't understand if they reported the police to the police, how that was going to work out, considering how you are handling the situation, or you handled the situation that was happening yesterday. So, yeah. So it's very interesting now that Brigadier Gininda is testifying as well, Mr. Anonymous, and the accused receiving this type of treatment. One has to wonder what is going on. And the DCS, of course, of ramping with that statement that they made. And I'm not saying that he's responsible.
We are just
but
connecting the
energy,
dots. We are just connecting the
energy,
dot. The power that this case has.
the energy.
And the power that the other side has.
And now they are
Radio.
enforcing it. Like even we are from a distance. We are not in that courtroom, but we can see the enforcement of exerting of power there.
The rules that are broken there. People testifying about what no one can come and attest to. As the writer, as an author of this thing, when the education cannot be done sometimes if it suits them. Call this witness yourself, and it's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a mess. And considering the fact that accused number 1 and number 2 were not involved in that fight, this I'm like, y'all don't care, don't you? Like they didn't. There was no punching of a WADA.
Number two was standing behind these people.
Why is he being handcuffed now? Why is he being punished?
How much more of that one who doesn't talk much, almost?
Nah. One has to wonder what happened yesterday after they left that courtroom. Hi, Asaz. Well, the state prosecutor continued with Brigadier Gininda, and Brigadier Gininda said the accused number 1, elected to speak to him and didn't require services of an attorney. That was done freely and voluntary. Hey, Nkosam. Well, as he was busy speaking there, accused number 3, Mncube, Mncube, and accused number 5, Ntuli, raised their hands to speak to their legal counsel. Now, for those who were in the court, they're saying that the handcuffs on their hands were visible, okay, but the cameraman did not, get a direction to show us exactly.
Did they not?
Did you see them?
That's what I'm trying to say, that the media, everything.
Because they are saying that they were handcuffed.
They could have zoomed. They've got best cameras, better than the ones that I have. But I can still zoom you.
Well, Advocate Charles Mnisi said that his client, accused number 3, was complaining about the way he's being cuffed, and he can show it to the court to make their own judgment, that the judge didn't want to look at it. Obviously, he wasn't interested. They are the scum to him, allegedly. So the judge asked for the warden to transport accused number 3 to have a look at them.
Those who transport accused number 3.
The very same people who handcuffed him must have a look at the handcuffs. Well, Munyeki said accused number 5 was also not feeling very comfortable with the way he was handcuffed. He said accused number 1 and number 2 are not handcuffed in the same way that they are handcuffed. So basically he was complaining that he's cuffed differently from the other accused. So it means, yeah, they were handcuffed. Okay, he's saying that he was not feeling very comfortable. So accused number 3 raised to say he's not feeling well. Accused number 3, and he said, I can't hear properly with my hands as I'm being cuffed, my lord. And the judge is like, you hear with your hands, in other words. Throwing shade, honey. Even if I don't hear with my hands, that's what accused number 3 responded, my lord. But if I can just be free as I'm seated, I'm not going to make an order to that effect, said the judge. You heard what I said. Is that not so? You can discuss that with your attorney or advocate, and your advocate can discuss it with your commissioner of police, because I don't know the safety and security measures the commissioner of police takes after people have fought in court. I don't know.
After people have fought in court, after police and the accused have fought in court. That's the right way, right? The WADA, not the police who were chilling there. The WADA.
This is the same man who was asking them gazillion times, was there any report? He didn't even ask them. He's asking to craft his judgment. Was there any complaint at all, ever? And you know what the funny thing is? He's asking Mohani if there was any complaint on the occurrence book. And Mohani is the one who was filling in that occurrence book every time he would book him in and book him out. So were you expecting Mohani to pimpa himself and be like, today I beat up accused number 1, I choked him, I electrocuted him? Wait, what exactly? Like,
the system is crazy, ne?
Oh, Jane. Hi, we are in trouble. Even if you don't have money and you don't have the means to get a lawyer who is a shark, preferably of this color, who's a male. But even the female, some of them,
you need female.
Some of them are sharks. Get this lawyer.
They can win, yeah, those ones. Remember, you can't just
if you don't have money for that, you are going to jail. You are going benekant.
There is no other way.
Oh, this is shocking. So he said that's why I can't get involved in making an order about you not hearing when you are cuffed. Did you hear the tone in addressing accused number 3, Mr. Anonymous? The tone of the judge. Mind you, this is the same man who was advocating that the process would have been followed if accused complained of torture under the care of the SAPS. And apparently accused number 3 had a bandage on his hand. So since when did they handcuff him in that manner? Because he had a bandage. The judge didn't care. All the Brigadier Gininda was now on how he managed to get Colonel Mahlangela Mboto to take down the confession statement from accused number 1, and how he'd arranged for Constable Monareng to help with transporting the accused to the Diepkloof police station. Gininda said, I put it to him that I believe he was involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. His response was tantamount to a confession.
Wow.
Kanjani.
Wow.
How?
There's this
How do we move?
There's this series, Emil. I watched it and I stopped somewhere. You know that one, Lucifer?
Oh yes, I watched
a
few episodes of the first season. And then
so that series, if those who have not watched it, that man can make you confess, basically. Because as people are busy dealing with you in a nice way, he just changes and what is it called?
He reveals, he shapeshifts.
Shapeshift, yes.
He reveals himself, who he truly is, and
then
you
start singing.
Well,
isn't it sounding?
Wow, the way he's putting it, though, it sounds
like
it's like,
he is listen.
The
I
character
believe
of
that.
Lucifer.
I believe we're not saying that he's that allegedly.
No, we're not saying he's that.
We're just looking
comparing
at
from the season.
based on what he submitted. He said
The way he's putting this confession that it
yes,
just happened when he started
and then
having a conversation.
all of a
with
sudden someone
accused.
just sings, you know.
It's
So I come to you and I say, I believe you're involved in Senzo Meyiwa's case. Then you start confessing. Hey, listen.
Yes.
Hey,
On the
I
26th of
was
October,
there. I don't
2015.
remember where
understand.
the hoodie is, but it could be at work. It could be anywhere.
This is it needs more elaboration. It can't be.
No, you're not gonna
that it
get any.
happened this
Oh,
way.
you're not gonna. You're gonna
I
argue.
refuse to believe.
You're
that.
gonna argue that in
Yeah, and the judge will
in but what is the heads of argument? Leave that for arguments.
Oh, how many things have been left for argument?
Yes. While Baloyi can actually allow a person to even talk about things that are not supposed to be talked about, even come back, apologize without the judge saying anything. I'm sorry, my lord. I'm sorry, my lord. Do not say. Do not talk about that. You know. You
Right in front of Pam Gwaba.
you know that person who's got two dogs holding them. These big dogs that want to bite you, and you know, they wanna release it, and then you start crying. Yeah, you don't wanna release it. That's what is happening. I felt that apology was not genuine, but we will deal with it. It was just okay. Do off ramp. Say it. I want it to be on record. Then I will calm you down. Hey, please do not go there. Hey, please, say, I don't know how to say it without saying it. Please do not go there. Don't go there. Don't. My lord, I'm sorry. Later on, I'm sorry, my lord. The man continues. Please do not go there. That's what we were watching. Continue, I mean.
Well, his response was tantamount to a confession. He said, I asked him if he was willing to make such a statement, and even a pointing out, he replied yes. I then informed him I would make such an arrangement where I briefed the members who brought him to me in Vosloorus that would have to make a change of arrangements whereby we would go to the provincial office in Gauteng so that such arrangements of an independent officer could be arranged for such a confession. Colonel Mboto requested me to bring the accused, number one, to Diepkloof or make arrangements for the accused to be brought at Diepkloof SAPS. Gininda said, as I was driving to the provincial office, I made numerous calls for someone to assist until I got a hold of Colonel Mboto. Mboto requested me to bring the accused number one, to Diepkloof. Furthermore, Mboto was not privy to this case as he was not a part of it, nor did I ever brief or work with him previously. I also called Constable Munareng from SWAT to come and assist with movement of the accused to Colonel Mboto in Ayrton. When Munareng arrived at Ayrton, I handed over the accused to him, but prior to this handover, I warned him of his rights and I asked him if he still wants to continue. He said yes.
You could have just taken a paper, printed that thing, pasted it on his t-shirts, and then put a recorder of yourself warning him with his rights until wherever he goes, you just press that play. You're still under wara, you know.
Woo! I
read him his right. Because others were not sometimes reading the right.
story
You are reading the rights all the time. Even if it's not supposed to be. Even after in just 5 minutes, you just told him, hey, you're still under oath. I mean, please remember.
Mokola was also reading rights a gazillion times.
But this one is reading them.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
And he's hearing these rights, and at no point does he think he needs a lawyer.
And then later, and then later on, when probably you're chilling there by Pretoria North or wherever you were, and then there's Mjiako.
That's for accused
Boom.
number 2.
Yes, yes.
There was Mchiako. Yeah, guys, this is the movie. I can only imagine what they've been through. It's a lot. Then Gininda said he was taken to the Diepkloof police station, and then after about 2 hours, Mboto called me to say he was done with the confession of accused number 1. He also informed me that the confession statement will be kept by him. He said he fetched it the next day. Baloyi then asked, what time did you hand over accused to Monareng? And Gininda said, I'm not sure, but it was before 10 o'clock at night. Kore, that confession had to happen on that day. 10 o'clock at night. It had to happen on that day. Then Gininda said Constable Monareng was not alone. He was with another member of SWAT, and it was the two of them. Gininda said about after 10 to 15 minutes after speaking to Colonel Mboto, Monareng and accused returned. He said, I asked him if he was fine, and he said, yes, no complaints. Yes, no complaints. You just confessed to a whole murder. Yes, no complaints. Sure. Hi, guys. I asked him if he wanted to point out a witch doctor that came up in a discussion. The answer was yes, he's still willing to do so freely and voluntarily. I then indicated that
the choice of words gives you up who exactly are you and which era were you operating. Yeah, that witch doctor thing, it's something that is used mainly by people. That's why people who were lawyers or who were judges during that time would never reprimand that. Only Bomgomezulu can do that. But those ones who in the olden days were told that traditional healers are witches.
And I'm surprised because this thing was even discussed in a court of law. I mean, there's been a whole case around it where traditional healers went and filed complaints that they don't want to be called witch doctors anymore. It's unconstitutional. And it was changed. They were now referred to as traditional healers. But not... That court was like witch doctor all the way, honey. I'm like, where are we? Is this 1971? What is going on?
And listen, dude, this man goes and this is Ntanzi. The whole testimony comes back, he's lighter. It's like he's been baptized.
Wait.
I mean, he looks...
When I already said that, I was like, there's no effing way. Gininda. You speak nice English, but there is no way. What you're saying us is what that cannot be. Yes, like a person who comes from a father at the Roman Catholic Church. After, you know how he was describing it, like in the Roman Catholic you have to do confessions when you've done something wrong to the pastor. And when you come out of there, you are so relieved because you have confessed all of your sins, right? Father, I have sinned. That's how he was describing the confession, considering the fact that he had to arrest them first, and we must believe that they willingly confessed after you arrested them first. It's kind of tricky. It's not going, I then indicated that Sergeant Mogola will come to him the next day and follow up on that witch doctor investigation. And he should feel that he has changed his mind, or if he needs assistance or legal representation or whatever concern he may have, then he should feel free to bring it up to her attention, my lord. judging from the energy in the courtroom and the accused being treated how they were treated, I find it very difficult to believe that you were this generous and this soft with them when you arrested them and you were accompanying all of those trips and looking for evidence. I just find it hard to believe. I don't know. It's me. It's my opinion. Well, Gininda then said, I then asked Surgeon Monareng to escort the accused back to detention and we parted ways. Baloyi then said, were you informed where he was detained? And Gininda said, I was informed that he was detained at Valeria SAPS. Baloyi asked, did you see any injuries on him on his return? And Gininda said, I did not. I also did not detect or pick up any signs of uneasiness or panic. It was basically, for me, in my observation, it was more of a sign of relief. I was like, what? He was looking better than he was. You know, when something has been taken off your shoulders, but either than that, there was no sign of fear or visible injuries on him. It's funny how he takes the behavior of someone who willingly goes to the police station to confess and paints it to someone they literally hunted down and dragged and arrested with a tactical takedown, so as to say that they would confess without being anything happening to them or being tortured, allegedly. But it's insane. You know, this demeanor that he's describing is the demeanor of someone who willingly goes to the police station and confesses, not someone who has to be hunted down, dragged, and they parted ways just after midnight, he said, and the following day, the 31st of May 2020, Sergeant Mogola informed me that they found the witch doctor, and I said we must meet at the provincial office. They arrived with the said witch doctor, who I came to know as Lion Zwani. Gininda then said, when he was brought to my office, I warned him of his constitutional rights and told him that his name came up regarding the Senzo Meyiwa murder. Accused number one then walked in with EMPD members. What became clear was when Mr. Zwani locked eyes with accused number one, it was clear they knew each other. Why does it matter that they knew each other? Because according to accused number one, he went through his phone already, and they knew each other from you finding his number on his phone. So this does not make sense.
No, it doesn't. Just a reminder, please like the video, and thank you for those who keep on reminding people. We are not getting rich through the likes. We are just spreading wide.
Yes.
That's it. Please press the like, guys, so that we continue. Look, it's load shading. We are here.
Aman Maka plan. We made a plan, okay? So Gininda said it was clear that they knew each other due to the utterances between the two. Now, it's very interesting because, you are saying that they knew each other by them looking at each other. But how did you get to Lion Zwani to begin with? That is the part that you are failing to explain, or that you just decided to brush over and say.
I'm going to Mogola explain that he detained Zwane also.
And she said that she went through the accused phone. Did she say that?
No, it was said as accused number one's version.
So they are trying to say that accused number one just brought up Lion Zwani out of nowhere. Is that what they're trying to say?
I don't understand the submission on this thing, because, I mean, if this person is your Nyanga, you are expected to
keep him a secret.
So are they affirming that indeed they knew each other?
We still don't know the other Nyangas.
No, it's not about the secret. What they are doing is that, they knew each other. The same way, I'll show you. Continue, Emil. You.
Okay, so Baloyi stopped him from mentioning these utterances and what they were. And Advocate Baloyi said that there has been a discussion with the defense to request that the traditional healer or rather the witch doctor, as he was still calling him, Lion Zwane's evidence in the main trial be allowed into the trial within a trial. And Gomezulu said it would be kept in suspense, and according to his understanding, the evidence used in the main trial cannot be used in the trial within a trial. Mnisi said it is an issue relating to accused number 1, and he said if there's a request that a part of the evidence be incorporated in another trial, then he saw nothing irregular about that. Nxumalo also said that the matter is that of accused number 1, and he has no comment. He also said that there's nothing irregular. And Munyeki also said he has no comment because the state wanted to introduce the statements from Lion Zwane into evidence for their case in this trial within a trial. And remember that Lion Zwane testified in the main trial before the trial within a trial. So they want to take his testimony from there and incorporate it in the trial within the trial. Munyeki said he has no comment, and the judge said that it would be regular and the witness would have to be called to court. Mgomezulu also addressed the court regarding the use of the term witch doctor when referring to Mr. Lion Zwane. Baloyi said that they would use the term traditional healer. Even the judge recalled that Mr. Zwane said that he heals people. He didn't describe himself as a witch. Okay, he said he heals people. He's a healer.
When he comes, he must know that they called him a witch. So Mngomezulu is scoring the brown points there. Just if he was listening.
Yes, if he's watching, Baba, bathi uyathakatha.
Bathi uyathakatha.
Bathi wena uyathakatha.
Bakhombise ukuthi umthakatha unjani.
So Gininda then said it also became clear that accused number 1 was making further confessions to Zwane. He said, I warned him again that this conversation could be used against him in a court of law. Gininda then said, I then asked members to remove accused number 1 so I can continue interviewing the traditional healer. After our discussion, I requested my colleague to assist me in taking the statement of Mr. Zwane. I then requested members to take Zwane to Germiston for the statement to be taken down and thereafter take him home. Such a statement was taken and it was brought to me. Following yesterday's scuffle in court, the accused were taken to the holding cells during tea break. So this is how correctional services chose to deal with the situation.
No consultation.
No regard for them at all.
So they cannot. That time, sometimes these lawyers will remain behind with them.
Yes, and ask a little bit of questions or whatever did needed clarity. Now that can no longer happen as Brigadier Gininda is testifying. You know why? Because they decided to take them to the holding cells during tea adjournments. I don't know if it happened during lunch as well, but now the freedom has been taken away. And for all of them, mind you, including the ones who did not participate in the fight. All of them. So after the tea adjournment, Gininda said on the 4th of June 2020, I approached accused number 1 at Valeria SAPS and asked him if he still wanted to do the pointings out of the crime scene. He said yes. It was the 30th of May 2020 when I met him in Vosloorus. When I interviewed him about his alleged involvement in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, that's when he first said he would do the pointings out. Accused number 1, that is. So Colonel Hadebe said he would assist with the pointings out on the 5th of June 2020 and the accused be kept at Alberton SAPS. Hadebe was not privy to the investigations and I have never worked with him before. I provided him with the case number and made sure that there was a photographer who would be available. Sergeant Mohani was going to transport accused number 1 from Valeria to Alberton. So on the 5th of June 2020, such pointings out was conducted and Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe told me so. I also received the form and photos taken of the accused pointings out at the scene. The photo album was at a much later stage received by me, but the pro forma I received a day or two later. Gininda said I then went to Valeria SAPS and Alberton SAPS to get the copy of the occurrence book and attached to the docket. In those entries, it was indicated that the accused had no injuries when booked in and out. During regular cell visits, there were no complaints. During regular cell visits, there were no complaints. Now, my question would be, are there such entries in the occurrence books that were done by other police officers, because we can't just say things. They need to be backed up, okay? They need to be backed up. You can't just say stuff. Are they there on the occurrence book that when other police officers were checking up on him, they found no complaints? Okay, if not, leave it alone. Gininda then said, even at the Diepkloof SAPS entry, there was no indication of anything outward. Gininda said, in as far as the confession that accused number 1 made, I proceeded to do further investigations to corroborate. As far as this matter is concerned, accused number 1 was formally charged on October 2020. Baloyi asked, was a warning statement obtained from accused number 1, and Gininda said it was taken by him. So regarding accused number 2's arrest now, we are moving to accused number 2. Isn't it amazing that with accused number 1 and number 2, everything that is needed was obtained, right? And then you look at the scuffle that happened yesterday and how accused number 1 and number 2 literally stayed away from the drama. Literally. And you ask yourself, were they the weakest links? Throughout this whole arresting. Well, Baloyi said regarding accused number 2 arrest, Gininda says Sergeant Mohani informed me of his arrest, Ntanzi, on the 16th of June 2020. I had the first interaction with him on the 18th of June 2020 in Carltonville. He was still in detention. I was introduced to him and I showed him my appointment card. So that boardroom situation, he's taking himself out of it, obviously. And I have to wonder why. Isn't he the lead investigator? What would be wrong with him doing that interview in the boardroom before they went to Carltonville?
But because he was already inflicted, he knew the story, he knew also he was investigator, he needed someone independent. Don't you need some...
Okay, is that why
That's why they keep on explaining, I didn't know this person.
So as a lead investigator, you need to not know these people.
To take the statements.
Well, he says I was introduced to him and I showed him my appointment card. After the warning, I established what he wanted to do. He said he wanted to speak to me without an attorney and didn't elect to remain silent. This is accused number 2. This is Bongani Ntanzi now. He also didn't want a lawyer. After I explained his rights, I told him that he is a person of interest in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. The response was that he was at work on the 26th of October 2014, the day of the incident. It came from him. Upon making inquiries, it was established that he was not there at work on the day that Meyiwa was murdered. He left on the 25th of October after working for 2 hours. I heard him emphasize, after working for 2 There was also no indication why he left at such short notice. There was no indication as to why he left at such short notice. I further learned he only returned to work on the 2nd or 3rd of November.
Yeah, there has been a testimony of correction. So
there has been corrections made.
That begs the question of saying, was that a mistake at all? Or it proves my theory that how I want to put it to get you down and how you read the information, I can come with someone who's going to correct himself, but already the damage is done.
Yes. Especially if you listen with non-attentiveness. You will believe what is being thrown and repeated, even though it doesn't stick, but because it's repeated, you will be thinking, hi, it's the one. So Gininda said his alibi was false, and I confronted him with this information. I also confronted him with the sketch plan of 2 suspects entering the house. I asked him about the one wearing the hoodie. I informed him that it is the suspect, the one with the hoodie. It's him. And Gininda said, as I was walking away, some member said accused number 2 wants to speak to me. When I went back to him, his utterances were tantamount to a confession. I warned him again, and he said he just wants to tell the truth. I also established he was also prepared to make a confession to an independent police officer. Accused number 2's utterances were made freely and voluntarily without due influence. On the 19th of June 2020, I was informed by Sergeant Mohani accused number 2 was taken to Colonel Rapadu. Rapadu was independent from this investigation, and I never worked with him. The first time I saw his face was when I went to fetch the confession from him. Gininda then said I was informed that he was arrested on the Nongoma murder case, but I do know he was facing another matter in Vosloorus. The Nongoma matter is still under investigation.
On our side, be specific. That's the word that you might know.
On their side. On the cold case side.
Yes.
But so far as the initial investigators, the matter has been finalized. So he said when we got to Phokeng, we started at the police station. I was later informed the hoodie they were looking for was not found, but ammunition was. A case of unlicensed ammunition was opened. The occurrence books of Phokeng SAPS and Primrose SAPS were obtained, where accused number 2 was detained. Both, they didn't indicate that he had any injuries. Baloy asked, do you know which vehicle Sergeant Mohani was using? And Gininda said, yes, it was a Toyota Fortuner. Gininda said, I also forgot another alibi. Accused number 2 gave that he was in Nongoma and he used Capitec to withdraw money. It was found that it was not true. This is the second alibi, which was found to be false, of accused number 2. So guys,
yeah, let us just allow you to call for now. If
I'm
you
gonna
can
take
call.
yes.
Just allow you to call if you're gonna be able to call. If you can call, let's hear what you also have to say. Just to relieve Emily a bit. It's gonna also come back and continue. But let us have you call for now, because some of you might be going to sleep as you are waking, like me, tomorrow. Please, just have a call. Just setting up. Let's hear what you guys are thinking. If you can, please do call. Good morning. I hope you guys are well. Are we getting okay? Yeah, this is someone who was asking if we are going live. So things are happening here, guys. I'm not even sure if electricity is back as I'm sitting here. It's dark, and I'm not even sure how long this thing is gonna last. Listening to this police office witness statement, it's like the confession came out so easily, and indeed it does feel like that. The question is, what are you guys thinking? Yes, we have a caller. Let's see what you say. Ntanzi, hello. The volume. Can you just the volume, and then you'll go back to it again. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ano.
Hello. How are you?
I'm very well, thinking. How are you, sir?
Not bad.
This is Mom Tandy.
Yes, Mom Tandy.
Yebo. Hi, kunzima. The question, my concern is, I need to, judge would always ask this, what are they called? The accused. Ukuthi did they report where?
Yeah.
Manje, if they report to him and he says there's nothing that he can do, being a judge, accused number 2 once reported to the magistrate that he didn't bath, he can't call the family, and
Yes.
nothing was done.
Yes.
Now the judge is above the magistrate. And the judge is saying there's nothing that I can do.
Okay.
Do we think that they will ever report to anyone?
Basically, that's what we are trying to drive, that there is nothing that you can do. You are doomed if you report, you are doomed if you don't. Either way, you are doomed.
Because if the judge is powerless, then who has the powers?
Yo. No one.
And after watching the scuffle, because I know that Judge Uyibonile, that scuffle video,
Yes.
the guys were provoked. And because bayafila vele ukuthi now we must fight for ourselves, this is enough. And you know what's interesting is watching the scuffle, imagine that guy is so huge. And accused number 3 tackled him without any fear. Let's take Manje Lomfana Longwe, who just pushed him and ran away.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
And this Gininda,
Yes.
Gininda said something. He actually challenged Ngomezulu that the document that was found from the police concerning that case,
Nongoma case, yes.
The Nongoma case. How does he know about it? It simply shows that he's been watching this thing. How does he know about it? Because it was never mentioned now that Elapayan.
I guess you would say someone is reporting to him. I don't know. Like it just baffles me because you're not supposed to watch, even though it's in front of you, even though it's your TV.
Watch. Oh no! This thing is a real mess. You know, Orata. Now I would advise these advocates to prepare themselves for the appeal. It really shows who judge has made up his mind.
Yeah, what you're saying.
Made up his mind.
I thought, I sat down and I was like, it does seem like that. Unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately.
We are at that point
where
we could almost see. But then, if you look at Rata, the history of Rata, someone, I've touched on this thing before. Rata has been someone has complained about him supporting the state somewhere else.
Okay.
Yes, this is not something new. This is not something new. And, I don't know what happened about that complaint. But I guess if he can comment even in politics, what more can he comment on? I mean, he commented about the scuffles that are happening in parliament, which is entering for me the politic arena. And you are a judge. Yeah. It was Mail and Guardian. Someone, I see, there's a person who posted it in some Facebook group that the defense complained that during the court proceeding, Rata had attacked the defense counsel who asked for adjournment. I think this is the treatment that Tim Shololo is also getting because the counsel wanted to have written evidence translated from Afrikaans to English.
Okay.
So Mokgatleng was also accused of intervening during the cross-examination by the defense counsel. They claimed the judge was treating the state prosecutor differently. It's apparent to me that the treatment of the state advocate is different. Someone else is calling. But basically, I'll continue with this. Let me give others a chance, but I'll continue driving this. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that it seems as if this is how this man moves. Hence, maybe he was chosen for this case.
Before I ran away, don't you think the people who were actually targeted, Kukulu scuffle, were accused number 1 and 2? The way the judge asked so many times, if they were involved, I'm telling you, he could have made a different ruling. If 1 and 2 were involved,
yes,
things would be different.
Yeah, that. I get your point. Let me take others so that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ano. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ntanzi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous. How are you?
I'm all right, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. Today for me was a very, very tough day for the defense. Huh? Yeah, I felt they were up against it, sir. That Gininda Kanandi is a very, very well prepared. Huh?
Very prepared.
He's very well prepared. His story looks good, but everyone looks good until they punched in the mouth. Right. Until someone is being cross-examined, everyone looks good. All these other witnesses have all looked good when Baloyi is feeding them. And then the defense comes and they fall apart. Né? So same thing might happen to him, right? But otherwise, he sounds very good, and the defense should really, really work hard, and they mustn't lose hope.
Yes.
We might lose hope, but these guys are getting paid. This is their job. This is their fight. It's not our job, né?
Yes.
They're getting paid to work hard tonight, not us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Politics for me is the only way that these boys win this case. That's the only way. If we leave it to Rada, these boys are not going to win this case. Since the judge is invoking the Red Army will probably come and they will be looking into this case, and they'll be looking into Rada's previous cases, and they'll say, something is wrong here. Right? Yes. I don't know the rules. I don't know what happens. I was uncomfortable with having those guys in handcuffs there. I don't know the rules. It just made me feel uncomfortable. You're already behind bars, and then you're sitting there with handcuffs. Now you can't make notes in your own defense when previously you were making notes. It made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Especially you can't make notes when it's such an important witness. You see, so I had a massive issue with that part today. But yeah, all in all, today was a tough day. Just one other thing before I go.
Yes.
I found it very interesting that he was going too far at times. Like Baloyi would have to stop him. I don't know, was he having verbal diarrhea, or what was going on there? Was he oversharing, or
no?
What was going on there?
No, I don't think that is oversharing. I think it's a mistake that is not a mistake.
Oh.
So what I picked up towards the end, you listen, he was trying to justify why the case 375, there was that fight between the attorneys that 375 should be the one that we're dealing with now. And he wanted to explain that situation. He wanted to put it on record. Remember, there's allegedly that fight of those who are in 375, who are pushing for 375, and so he wanted to crash it again. I mean, on record.
Okay.
So it's not. That's why I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it was not a mistake for me. It was like planned.
Okay, and then just remember, I think you said like a week or two back, there were parts where things in my eyes were going well for the state. These guys just object for the sake of objecting. Just object. Even if you got no reason to object, just object. Just object. Doesn't matter what your reason is. Just stop the momentum.
Now, the problem that these people have, this defense have, is that unlike Tifo, you see Tifo was playing for two teams. He understood, he would have been able to pick this up, that now the politics of 375 and 636 is being played here. So they are not in that position exactly to see that, okay, now he's trying to play that politic and let us object there. So they couldn't object because where would they be objecting to? What would they be objecting to? I guess that's the problem. That's why Tifo was more dangerous. And that's why Tifo...
Even if they do try and object, they might end up in jail like Tifo.
No, they won't. They won't know what they are objecting to. Tifo would precisely say that this matter is still pending. You cannot bring such matter here. For example, I'm making an example. So on their side, they probably did not know what was he talking about DPP decisions and all those things. Where are they going with these things? Where does it help the case? But in this case, it was the only time that he might ever get if this case does not go according to let's say this trial is failed. That means this man will never come and testify because this case is done.
Just two more things. That I find that the defense should be objecting to or making a point of. Every day, the state brings up the point of that this guy was meant to be at work that day. I don't understand why, when that evidence keeps coming up every day, don't they bring up that this guy came and gave evidence and he was shown the evidence that he was not meant to be at work that day? Why they just let it slide?
I think the defense here is sitting on some information. They are waiting for their time. Obviously, they will get their time with the accused. And then that's when everything will be rebuffed. So right now, if you try to fight it now, they might crash it out, actually. They might even wipe it out by saying that thing is not admissible.
Okay.
So like the issue of a bank, I think the issue of a bank, Mngomezulu kept quiet on purpose. Let it slide. Let him talk whatever that he wants to talk.
Oh, that's why the second part was asked was about the bank. Why did they say nothing about the bank? Because how ethical is it to bring up that the bank statement showed nothing when no one presented the bank statement? No one presented the bank statement in the courts. They just put it there. No, it wasn't presented.
Yeah. So they probably have their own information that probably they will submit as exhibits, when they get their time. Obviously now let the state stands with whatever half or no evidence at all. Make their ridiculous things. Such information you can always
overshare, because now if you overshare now, they want to go and rebut it now.
Yes, and then you don't have anything.
Okay. No, it's fine. Let them hang themselves with their own rope now before you come back with more information. Okay, no, I understand.
Yes.
Okay. No, but it is a chess game, but I must not say this is not chess. This is a chess game, man.
It is a chess game.
It is a chess match, man. He's joking. He's playing. Okay, thanks, man.
Cool,
okay.
Man. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Right. Guys, you can still call. I know that sometimes it takes long, but you can still call. I'm still here. And I'm reading everything that you guys are saying. Unfortunately for now, you haven't typed anything. But if you want to call the WhatsApp number 067 619 0343. And that's a WhatsApp number. The cell phone number is 0711 537 006. That's the number that you can call direct. So those things for me that I was just talking about right now, I feel like not the things that you would like to object to. Just let them slide. If you have what it takes to come back from that hole that this man is digging for you, with whatever information that he has. Just let him do what he does. You'll get your time, and then you'll have to defend yourself. By the time you defend yourself, no one will ever stop you. Ntanzi, hello.
Hi, good. Oh, it's still good evening by me. Good evening, Mr. Anonymous. Speaking to Zozo. I'm calling you. I'm calling you from UK.
All right,
and,
UK.
Yeah. You know what? I was listening and watching this thingy today, and there's something that made me so interested.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about the letter from what you call, from the law, whatever they are
DPP.
They are yes, and they said that letter. It stated that letter was written on the 5th of the 5th month. 2020. So I was asking myself that how come that letter was written on the 5th of 5th 2020, and by that time accused number 1 was not arrested yet. Accused number 2 was also not arrested yet. But what was the purpose of them asking for that letter? I don't know.
No. I think
I might heard it wrong, but I heard that.
You might have missed the point here. Let me just explain it to you. The letter you are referring to is a letter that says, the letter from LPC. That's a licensed professional.
Yes, the one that says Mr. Mjiako.
Yes, that's a licensed professional counsel. The LPC. It issues that letter to acknowledge you as a lawyer or as an attorney. That's basically what that letter is for. So it's not...
Yes, I understand. I understand. I do understand that letter was telling us or them that this guy is registered.
Yes.
But my question is, if you listened when Gininda was talking about that letter, you said date on the letter is the 5th of the 5th month, 2020.
Now let us also look at that. The date is referring to is
please do and correct me if I'm wrong, because I was talking to myself why did they they asked this letter on the 5th of May, but these people were not arrested yet.
No, the date that they are referring to, they are referring to the date when this man probably was admitted as an attorney.
Oh.
Do you understand now? It had to be.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
This must have been a fairly new man in this industry. There are a lot of things that are interesting. If you I'm gonna overshare because I do my research. I think it's another video. This one we will try to explain.
It's so interesting with me because I was okay. Did they ask this letter before they even arrest these people? So Mr. Mjiako was registered on the 5th of May, 2020.
Yes, this letter might be. Yes.
It's so interesting.
Now do you understand?
No. Now I do. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Cool.
Thank you. Good night. And thank you for your time, guys. I'm not sleeping. I listen to you and I follow you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good night. Bye.
Right. Let's have the next caller. Do you think this is a real Gininda? Oh, yes. Yes. Why not? Yeah. He is. He's the real one. I have no doubt at that. Ntanzi, hello.
Are you really tired, guys?
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. People must seem to worry, man. If you are up about this Gininda guy, it's not necessary testifying, man, about the case. If you analyze him properly without attaching emotions, the guy is there to patch the loophole from the previous witness. That's what I picked up. because if you listen, it's not like conversation, and fellow is touching on what the previous witness was trying to answer.
Yeah.
If you are following fellow is all of his questioning is obsessed, and he's making sure that he touch what the previous witness was trying to answer.
So basically, it's countering what was said.
Yeah. That's why I say the guy is just there to catch those loopholes, man. Because they realize where the previous witness brought from. Now they think this way. But under cross-examination, I thought him amazing. He will mop the floor with that guy. Don't worry, man.
I like your positivity. You are a strong man.
I've always
no, I trust Mngomezulu too. I trust Mngomezulu. But the problem that I have is reading. When I go through what this judge is doing.
You see what I like. What I like. Also, what I like about this case is what happened yesterday. The comments made by Rata about the parliament and what. The guy, he invited the pressure to himself. Everything he does, he knows.
Yes.
The high-profile people will be analyzing and tracking every move. And once you touch ESF, you must know you are touching the good guys when it comes to law practitioners in South Africa.
Yes.
Moses Kaka will be following this case closely. Who is in charge? Why? They will analyze every case, every move. All this guy told me, Moses Kaka, I'm sure those guys don't be blinded by who they represent. And once you touch ESF, those guys are on standby.
Yeah, no, I hear
and
you.
And most of them, they are senior counsel. They will be watching every move.
They've already answered.
Otherwise, those guys, they will take him on.
Yeah. No, thank you, man.
You have to send the message.
Yeah, thank you, man. Emil, I see Emil is back here. Let me take one call and then go back to Emil.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Mzanzi, hello. Just a few minutes, then we go back to Emil to finish up.
I'm on hold.
Yeah, you're on hold.
Emily?
Yes, sir. Please reduce. Oh, okay. Let's continue, Emil. Yeah, it's gone. So basically, what I was trying to say, what you are seeing here, it's not new. Judge Rata was accused of being biased during the proceeding. The accused said that earlier in the week, one of them complained acutely about the stomach, I think. Ntanzi, hello.
How are you, Emily?
I am good in yourself.
Thank you, are back. And Mr. Anonymous.
Sir, how are you?
Tell me, Pagania, is this the real Mr. Gininda?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've asked you on the WhatsApp.
Yes.
it is.
Do you think this Mr. Gininda is going to hold on until next year? Because there's so many stories that he needs to be accountable of. From the pre-trial until the next real trial.
The main
trial. Do you think he's going to be the one?
He has done it before.
He's done it before with the Donovan Kreger case.
Yes.
I'm listening to the phone. I cannot hear what you're saying. Oh, I cannot hear.
No, it's fine.
Can you just raise your voice, Emily? Because I can only see your face on the TV.
Yeah, the voice is there. I think the feedback is not fast enough.
Okay. So when is this judge gonna say stop it now? Because
no, he's not gonna say it.
This is a lie.
He's not gonna
when
say
is
it.
this judge gonna stop this?
He's not
Or do we need to take this case to the judiciary so that this case can be stopped? Because there's no way now we can continue with this. It costs us so much money. It costs a lot. And the judiciary of South Africa is on the spotlight regarding this. I'm not sure whether I'm in the same page or what. Do you think this is a fun anymore? It's not a lot of fun.
No.
The judge is also entertaining this nonsense, honestly speaking. If I was on a judge, you can see most the speedometer of AVL is telling this guy he's the one he didn't have any memory. He's using his mind. He's giving us the facts that this is where I was, this is where I was, this is where I was. These guys, all of them are relying on this AVL. Where do you think the truth is? I understand, guys, you are all frustrated. These guys understand Emily. These guys that understand, they've done some stuff damages, but not for this one. Where are the real people for this one? Time is running out for us to arrest the people that killed Senzo. Where when they will do that? When they keep on playing these games? Oh, hi guys, I'm getting frustrated, but the whole world is looking at us as if we're not serious about this case, honestly speaking. And then Oscar Pirosias is coming out of the court in January. Let's not forget about it. Otherwise, good night, guys.
Thank you.
He finally got it. After so much fight.
Yeah.
Trying and trying.
Yeah, let's continue.
Well, after the long adjournment, Gininda said that it was Ntanzi who introduced Mr. Dominic Mncube as his attorney, even before he introduced himself on the 23rd of June 2020 at the Moord police station.
I'm not taking any calls until you finish.
He said he found Mncube with Ntanzi at the holding cells. Gininda said, as I was approaching, accused number 2 stood up and said, "This is my attorney, Mr. Mncube." He said Mncube produced his ID and a document from the Legal Practice Council, LPC, confirming that he was an attorney. Gininda said Mr. Mncube wanted who the prosecutor was, and he told him it was he was an advocate now. So Gininda said that Mr. Mncube wanted to know who the prosecutor was, and he was told that it was Advocate Baloyi.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Not just Baloyi, straightforward. And this is where the other case is getting in.
So Baloyi then said, did Mr. Mncube say that in the presence of accused number 2? And Gininda said yes.
Now, I want you to understand why that is happening.
Why
that question is being asked.
Why?
That question is a letter of appointment. And you will understand why I'm saying that. Continue.
Well, Gininda said when the discussion took place, it was the 3 of them. Gininda said accused number 2 indicated to him that Mr. Mncube was his attorney. He said he asked Mr. Mncube for proof that he was a lawyer. He produced his South African ID, which he had his full ID numbers that were 13. Then he produced a copy of a document from the LPC, which confirmed that he was an attorney. It was dated the 5th of May, 2020. Now, where was the appointment letter? Ngomezulu then asked that the witness be provisionally admitted to the court on condition that Mr. Mncube be called to confirm the contents thereof. There are a number of places and evidence that has been tendered before this court where the name of Mr. Mncube has been mentioned. The letter which was attached, nor the charge sheet from Boxberg, which came from the office of Mr. Mncube, and the authentic nature of the document could not be admitted in court unless, in terms of the best evidence rule, the holder must come and confirm the contents thereof. In that case, another letter is brought in. He said, we don't dispute the fact that he's an attorney. And the judge said, who does not dispute that? And Gomezulu said, we don't dispute.
Not in a nice man. Who does that? Who's that?
Who doesn't dispute that?
Who doesn't?
Mr. Fingers.
So I want you to understand, this is where now we are. We are there. Emil, continue. There, they are going to use that issue, that incident of Ntanzi standing up, jumping and saying, yeah, here's my lawyer. Now that has become the letter of appointment.
Since when? Is that according to the law of South
and
Africa? Why does it feel like they're twisting and turning laws just for their own
to suit
benefit?
them? Yes. if you look at it, what this says is that they are accepting whatever that Gininda is saying as the truth and the gospel truth. Judge is actually doing exactly that.
Well,
but listen to what happened.
Said, I'll tell you why I've got this problem, and other counsel can mention if I'm incorrect. It wasn't pertinently denied that Mr. Mjiako is an attorney. The evidence went in this form that the gentleman in a suit who was standing next to the passage, and the impression created in this court is that accused number 2 did not have an attorney. It was denied then that number 2 was never represented by an attorney, either inside Ms. Grenier or that he had given that attorney, Mr. Mjiako, a mandate. Now, if you are saying this court must admit that evidence on the basis that it is not denied, are you with me? And Gomez Zulu said, may I just put it so that we are on the same page with the court? What has been said about Mr. Mjiako on the 24th at the Boksburg court has been vehemently denied by the defense. Number 2, the letter was tendered in court in support of the notice of withdrawal as attorney of record in the absence of the attorney, confirming that they are there to terminate the mandate. And Mr. Mjiako at that time was not present in court. Thirdly, another letter or a proof that he was an attorney, as it has been submitted that we have not disputed that he's an attorney. The judge said it is disputed that he represented accused number 2 in the room.
The man is not even
was presiding.
The man is not even listening. The objection is very carefully put. The objection is very carefully put. The objection is not saying that this man was not there.
Yes.
They are not denying that.
Yes.
By the way, electricity has just came back now. Just now. They are not denying that this was not the case. And it's 2 if you are checking time, from 9 to 2. What they are denying is that this man was representing accused number 2. They are denying that, vehemently denying that.
Yes.
He was representing accused number 2.
Yes.
And the judge is saying they are denying that he was present.
They are denying that he was a lawyer.
We cannot deny Mjiako, who allegedly worked for SAPS at some point.
Yes.
We cannot deny that. They are not denying that. What they are denying is that he represented accused number 2. Because eventually they will have to ask for where is the letter or a proof of appointment. And now the fact that this man jumped when he saw, not the fact, as they are alleging that this man was happy to see this guy, Gininda, and he said, this is my lawyer. Now that is going to be used as an admission.
No, but
the judge goes as further as saying that this is not an issue of them wanting to authenticate the information that is presented in court, which comes from Mjiako, by the way, which should be authenticated by Mjiako. Now he's saying these people were there. Accused number 1 was there. Accused number 2 was there. Accused number 2 was there, and Gininda was there. So now they are supposed now to authenticate this document that comes from Mjiako.
No, that's not how it
Based on the arguments, someone else saying no, I was not represented by Mjiako. Someone else saying yes, you were is represented by Mjiako.
Letter of appointment and proof of payment. And if it was pro bono, the rightful documentation to prove that that was the case.
Yes.
Please.
And I can foresee a problem there. That's why the States is not ready to call Mjiako.
Because I was like, Mr. Baloy, and now you're trying to say that Mr. Mjiako cannot testify. How come? Like, what is happening? Okay, let me elaborate on what happened further. Well, the judge said it is disputed that he represented accused number 2 in the room where Ms. Grenier was presiding, and Gomez Zulu said that is in dispute, my lord. And Baloyi said the letter forms part of the proceedings. It forms part of the record. So it was handed up in terms of Section 205. It's not a standalone document. It forms part of the exhibit. Secondly, regarding his qualification that the letter that the state is about to introduce be provisionally accepted on condition that Mr. Mjiako be called as a witness, we submit that the discussions took place in the presence of the accused, and that will not be necessary to call Mr. Mjiako. No, first of all, there's no letter of appointment, and you are saying that it was in the presence of Gininda that Ntanzi said Mjiako is my lawyer, and yet you don't want
Gininda
Mr.
that is in
Mjiako
dispute with
to
accused
come.
number one, accused number two,
It's
and all the
accused
accused by
number
the.
2 versus Gininda, and you don't
So
want
now
to call
you
Mr.
favor
Mjiako.
the issue of Gininda more than you favor the issue of that is biasness.
And then, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And
What does he
that
mean?
those things, those remarks, they basically mean that we're not going to do that for me. And the judge goes as further as suggesting that why don't you call that witness yourself? They want what? They want Mgomezu to shoot himself.
In the foot.
You are coming with evidence. You
You-
are saying this is the case.
You're coming with a letter
You
from the
therefore need to
NPC.
prove.
You are coming with a lot of statements. You are saying that Mr. Mjiako was the legal counsel of this accused, and the accused is saying, no, that's not the case. The status or the onus is on the state to prove.
You see the danger of having access on all these things as we are busy creating this whole case. You have access everywhere. You can open all the doors. You end up bringing things that are going to require you to put people under the bus.
Did you hear Gininda pressing on how that extract from the Nongoma case was found? I even forgot to mention that.
Yes.
He was questioning the how he got access to it. It needs to be looked
You see,
into.
that
And I'm
pressing, more so because he's denying, he's disputing that Mngomezulu is the one who was the investigator there. That Adam Mngomezulu, by the way,
Yes.
the one who's said to be.
he's saying that is not the investigator.
That is in
it was
dispute.
another.
Do you see how-
Mngomezulu is the one who told us that it was finalized through that extract.
Yes.
So if he
Now
didn't
they are
get access
disputing
to
that.
that extract,
Yes.
we are gonna
It
be
was
crippled.
disputed on the basis that it could not be legit. Maybe there are problems. Now you are coming with the so-called case that has a different investigator.
Is it still the same case that was finalized?
Do you
Or is it
understand? Do you
another
get
one?
me?
Is it another one? It doesn't have the IO. It doesn't have.
It has the IO, but it said it's a different
Is it
IO.
Njani when it's finalized by Mngomezulu? So which other IO is this one who you are continuing, it seems, to investigate?
It seems to me there is lack of agreement between maybe such people, the camp of the other Mngomezulu, to say that we can use that case. It seems to me, this is my assumption, this is me alleging.
Because it's finalized.
And I did say that there is I foresee a resistance. And that resistance, therefore, would make someone to say that according to us, this case is still open. According to us.
So the cold case has the right to take finalized cases and reopen them
Exactly.
again.
That's a danger of the cold case department. You could be arrested for Norox today.
And then they don't even show you the investigation part. Like, for instance, with this current one, where is the investigation element of looking back to the events of 2014? As in what? As in 2014. Where
I'm
did
telling
you
you,
look?
right
Who
now-
did you talk to in the house who could confirm that these people were in the house? These people are the ones that came in and shot Senzo. Where is that element of the investigation?
You could be, right now, they will tell you they did an analysis with the cold case analysis tool or something.
Yes.
Right now, you could be free as they come.
Yes.
Tomorrow, you could wake up embedded under Oscar Spitoria's case.
Where?
I'm just making an example.
As a co-accused.
Yeah. for example, he has went on to say putting you under the bus. So if someone who's arrested there can agree that no, it's fine, I can do that, and then you could wake up the following day, you have 7 cases. 7 people have implicated you in their cases.
And he says it like it's business as usual. Like it's nothing nonchalant. Like the way he says it, it's so smooth. And it's like, I'm like...
Before they fall, they become cocky. You must know that. No, before you fall.
Well, Mjiako needed to be called as a witness, and he said we submit took place in the presence of accused. That will not be necessary to call Mr. Mjiako, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This is the state. I've submitted a letter from the LPC to my learned friends as part of the admissions, which we will deal with in due course. So for present purposes, we submit that the discussion which took place in the presence of the accused, as well as the document which the state is about to introduce, are admissible, my lord. Then the judge said, Mr. Mgomezulu can argue that matter. You can't compel the state to call a witness. Why not? I mean, if they will be using his evidence, why not? Why is this an exception when it comes to this particular witness, that the person whose statement, the LPC doesn't belong to Gininda, it belongs to Mjiako, the LPC letter, does it not?
It does.
Then why can't he come and testify on this LPC letter? Why can't he come and testify? How come is there such an exception with this witness? I don't understand. Well, actually, why doesn't the state want Mr. Mjiako to come and testify? You can call that witness, you can call him to come and testify, saying the judge, to come and say whatever. Well, Mgomezulu argued that the crux of the issue, this is a trap, by the way. Having them come and subpoena him, it's not going to be good. Because Mjiako will come and say what? Throw them under the bus, and not really be helpful. So Mgomezulu then argued that the crux of the issue is that the state at its disposal cannot use documents such as a witness, cannot be called to come and testify. The judge said that's not correct. The evidence of Brigadier Gininda is that in the presence of accused number 2, Mr. Mjiako introduced himself as a legal representative, which with exigency was confirmed by accused number 1. There were 3, so that evidence is admitted. So now... I'm confused, guys. Isn't this like a part of some hearsay, hearsay type of evidence? Why is it now said that if the 3 of them were in the same room, then the third person doesn't have to be there? My law people, please balance me. I don't understand where Judge Rata is saying here. It doesn't make sense to me. And then here the gentleman here is preferring evidence that Mjiako introduced himself as representing accused number 2. And I don't think we can argue that it's not admissible, this evidence. And Mgomezulu said, but the issue that I'm concerned about is the admission by accused number 2 considered that the person was in the cells and that they will still be in dispute. It was never considered. We dispute by this witness that Mr. Mjiako was present. That will still be denied by accused number 2. That is why we are calling for that Ntokozo Mjiako to come and confirm that. The last person of my argument on the charge sheet, when a reference is made to section 235 of the records of the court, I was not convinced on that record to say that the magistrate has made an entry to the effect that the letter attached corresponds with the notice of intention to withdraw as an attorney off record unless such entry is expressly said before this honorable court. Now the judge said fine, but the onus is on the state to prove whatever allegations the state has, and you have the right to rebut, contradict, and deny and dispute. So Mr. Baloyi says in a few, he does not think that the state should call Mr. Mjiako. Baloyi proceeded with Gininda's evidence in chief, and Gininda remembers his name as Dominic Mjiako Ntogozo Mjiako, and his ID had 13 digits. So Baloyi asked Gininda to go through that letter of the LPC again. This is not on Mjiako to testify on his own evidence why Gininda is using Mjiako's documents. Okay, Mjiako will not be testifying. However, Gininda is using his LPC letter there to testify. He said when questions arose on whether Mr. Mjiako was a professional, he contacted the LPC and they confirmed that he was an attorney. Then he is an advocate now. So he was an attorney when he was representing allegedly accused number 2 in 2020, but now he's an advocate. And now Gininda said Mjiako was there on the first court appearance. So also, this thing that he just mentioned about what people were saying, and then he looked up, he called the LPC to confirm whether Mjiako was a lawyer or not. When did he do this? Did he do this in 2020, or did he do this just now after he saw on Twitter that Mjiako was trending? People were asking pertinent questions about this Mjiako person and were finding rather interesting information on the internet about him.
Yeah, there's LinkedIn.
Because people were even questioning, is he even a lawyer to begin with? And now you are addressing this in the court. Are you on social media? Are you watching the comments of the people? Because this was rather strange for you to embed it like this. It threw me off guard. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. All of a sudden, you need to confirm Mr. Mjiako and even go as far as call the LPC. Why didn't you do that in 2020 after you received the letter?
The power of that LPC.
It's the reason why lawyers are not exactly free in the country. A lot of people have been asking, why are lawyers not talking about this? Why are lawyers... It's part of that strictness from the LPC. You can't just do stuff. You can't. They will hold you accountable. So even if you are going to present yourself in social media,
if I remember,
rules.
even Defo, when he was being interviewed here, talked about LPC, right?
Yes.
And the name of one of the person he talked about came out today, right?
I was going to ask you. I was like, what is his name again?
Do you even see? Did you hear Nis what he said about the guy?
Okay, guys, I need to, so that I don't take him out of context. But Nisi was like, that man is unknown about the whereabouts of how he
mysteriously disappeared. Is it something
and
like...
I was like, is this the man Advocate Defo was talking about in the podcast?
Yes.
Hey guys, Advocate Defo was dishing them. Please go back and watch that podcast. It was a live broadcast. Please go back and watch it. Things are like lining up of what Advocate Defo was saying.
Maybe we are getting a clue of what is happening.
Because he was like that. He was like, Kiki Mr. Fun something. Fun Yerden or something like that. I forgot the surname. But it was like, the terms of how he left are very much...
Just go back to that interview.
Go back to that interview, okay? Please, you will not regret it.
And also he complained about the DPP office, right?
Yes, he did. He did. He came.
So
and
here
he
comes now the LPC.
He laid it
in court, and the DPP.
Gininda said Mjiako was there on the first court appearance of accused number 2 on the 27th of October 2020, and he said thereafter Mr. Mjiako and the accused had a discussion which gave rise to the need for a confession in front of a magistrate. Now, what kind of a lawyer would advise their client to confess to something that the client is saying, I did not do? Only Mr. Mjiako. Only him.
The kind of a lawyer that is in a hurry.
Only him. Like Gininda said, the following that discussion they had, Mr. Mjiako and accused number 2, arrangements were then made for Ntanzi to make a second confession statement in front of a magistrate in the presence of his legal representative. So now we understand why there's 2 confessions. It looks like Mr. Mjiako was facilitating that process, in my opinion. So Gininda then said Ntanzi did not distance himself.
It was not a facilitating per se. Yes, you might call it like that. What here is being insinuated is that there was a plea deal that was made.
But they're not saying it.
Read to what was said.
But they're not saying there was a plea deal.
I'm saying to you, this is insinuating that.
Or it's insinuating it.
Yes.
But he's not saying it. Why is he not saying it?
No, he's not gonna
they
say
don't want Mjiako to come and testify.
He said there was that talk. And then Mjiako said he wanted to facilitate that process. It's when a lawyer is negotiating, when they say, okay, do you understand?
With stuff like plea deals, there's documentation that backs it up.
So basically this, I'm trying to, for those people who are not seeing on their side.
They're trying to make it look like that
a
was the
plea
case.
deal.
No, it was not. It was not. Although we know it usually happens with legal aid. But this case, it was not.
So this was like a plea deal. So now Ntanzi wanted to go and say this in front of the magistrate in a process of plea deal. So don't be surprised. Like even all these informations that we are reading, is it exhibit JJ or exhibit what that was submitted the day before this man started testifying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It could be the plea deal, the so-called plea.
There could be a plea deal that is about to come.
Handwritten.
Mm-hmm.
When was it typed?
I'm telling you, a lot is happening in this case.
Ooh, Skatele, I'm fatigued. I'm fatigued with the lies. I'm tired. I am so exhausted. To me,
allegedly,
I'm tired. Okay, Gininda said Ntanzi did not distance himself from the confession he made before Colonel Rapadu and talks to confess before a magistrate happened with Mjiako present. Gininda said that the confession eventually happened, and then he said, I took the statement which was made to Colonel Rapadu and the one before Magistrate Grenier and did further investigations to corroborate what was in the statements. I must say, it was corroborated by 99.9%. How did you come to that conclusion? Because first of all, there's no way in your investigation where you're mentioning you had a conversation with the people that were in the house.
Have you passed to that issue of whether these statements, they look bogus because they don't mention, oh, maybe we haven't had, maybe they're still going to explain how they did it in the house, obviously in the main trial, and that is where we're going in any case. Just brace yourself up. Did you notice the misalignment when Mjiako requested the postponement to 3 August 2020 in discussion with the DPP before applying for bail, and then the magistrate adjourned the matter 29/06/2020 legal date in custody no bail. Are you there yet?
I think I've passed.
Yes. There was a misalignment there.
What was the misalignment? I missed it.
The lawyer, the so-called lawyer Mjiako,
Yes.
requested the postponement to 3 August 2020.
Yes.
In discussion with the DPP before applying for bail, and this was not supposed to be on record. If I'm correct, he read the wrong part, and then Baloyi said where the magistrate is adjourning the matter, and he said magistrate adjourn the matter to 29 June 2020, legal date in custody. After discussing for 3 August, then they adjourn for 29. So it was
a slip of the tongue.
And
what
then
do you think about it?
the dental report, I think it was just, I don't think there's magistrate. Like Mngomezulu believes, I also don't believe that this magistrate did all this. If it happens, I don't think there's a record of such. If there was some sort of a magistrate, I don't think there's going to be a record on that. And then the dental report.
Yes.
Dental report
It was on the same day as the court.
is only asking about how Ntanzi was physically. But it's not addressing whether there was a gold tooth or not.
Or not. Because that's what you were looking for.
You went for gold tooth, you came back with a medical re-examination of what is happening in this guy's body.
And then you tried to make everyone dizzy in the trial by saying that that dental report is a medical report. I was like, yo, uzobaqeda abantu
At
this point, it's embarrassing. Like, I have no words.
When he's finishing you'll see him moving his mpulampula there, touching it on the shoulders there. My lord, and how, put it on record, I want you to put on record this. How was the accused looking according to that report? Please put it on record. No injuries, no gold tooth, right?
No gold tooth. That was the purpose of that dental testing.
So that dental
to find out whether he had gold tooth in his whole life or not.
You go test for that, and then you come back with the medical. That doesn't even say anything about the gold tooth. Yeah, my God.
He will finish you if you're not careful. I always say this. And watch out for Advocate Baloyi. You will be convinced that he has something when there's actually not much. Not much to work with. Well, the North Gauteng DPP in Pretoria, apparently it's in Church Square, is the one that Gininda liaised with for this case. And he said warning statements were taken from accused 1 to 4, and accused 5 refused. Accused 5 seems to be the strongest. It seems to be the strongest.
Oh, but he called him back when he was about to get in a car or moving away. He's like, whoa, I want to talk.
So accused number 5 said he wanted to talk.
No, I'm saying accused number 2.
Oh, accused number 2. I was accused number 5 did not sign no warning statement.
Accused number 5 has paid tool.
He did not sign anything.
Accused number 5 doesn't play with kids. Doesn't have time. He's saving his time there.
You did hear him on the documentary. He's like, they're wasting my time.
Lo baba lo. Unamanga lo baba. That's what he said.
In the court.
Ufike lapha ngithi qala kabusha wathi uzofuna ubuthelezi.
Buthelezi is the same name that's popping up in the Nongoma case. Is serving 15 years.
If you follow these guys, you will align.
Hi guys, you can call back. I feel like I'm done dissecting the testimony, the evidence in chief of Brigadier Gininda. It was rather interesting, but I was bored at the same time. It's like I've heard this thing before. I've heard it. Mukhola, Mukhani Buthelezi, all are singing the same song.
Yeah, but I think we followed it properly. Guys, you can call now.
Y'all are singing the same ngoma. You're sticking to your story. We'll see how cross-examination goes. Apparently, I don't know.
I would like Ngomezu to just read that whole dental report.
All of it.
All of it.
Put it on the record.
I want to see if the outcome of gold tooth is there.
All of it. Read it.
Ntanzi, hello. Oh. Are we connecting?
We should be.
Hello? Hi, sir, how are you?
Very well. What an eventful day.
Yeah, it was an eventful day.
It was.
Come on, aren't you guys? You know, if you've watched, I think it's Gladiator,
yes.
You know the famous line, aren't you entertained?
We are.
So you were entertained. What did you find entertaining? I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where you think you can't be shocked. I think one guy in South Africa said it best. South Africa is a movie.
It's a movie.
You wake up the next day being shocked by something new, unexpected. Yeah, we went to bed the previous day thinking that, wow, there was almost a fight. Well, it was only one person who actually landed a punch, and that was not discussed, because the same gentleman who was given a platform because he didn't have a lawyer could lie because he lied. He said he was the one being hit. He never said I hit, and he hit number 3 actually. And people said that Ntanzi technically tried to shield with his body, but not try to intervene. If you check his body language, he wasn't trying to be in the thing, but just tried to be there. And Sibisi.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw him hold the gentleman. If you check in one of the videos, he does hold his hand, trying to pull him back away from those guys.
Yes.
But he was seated. He's seated, but trying to pull them away.
Yeah.
And it was so expected, I think, to some extent, that they were going to deal with them today.
Yeah.
Because with the cuffs thing, because I saw Ntanzi when he came late, he had black those cuffs, but the ones without, not the old ones with the space, because the new ones don't have space in between. Your hands are way closer together, and it's very uncomfortable. So he had those ones on when he came up the stairs, and I saw number 3 when he was going down. He had handcuffs, but the ones on their sides, because they have the handcuffs. I'm not sure about the 4 and 5, but I noticed that number 3 at the ones that are on the sides, which for me is a problem because these guys have been taking notes for their own, because this is their life and they've been taking notes, and all of a sudden you're saying, because the judge actually said, I can't do anything. It's another department. This one is not part of it. This one is not part of it. I'm not part of it. So, and I love that number 3 stood up for himself. Even if he was hushed and shushed, but he stood up to explain that these things are uncomfortable, you know. But yeah. It is what it is in this court, is that you want people to complain about when the treatment is bad, but you do nothing coming across as someone who cares or who's not biased, because I will be accused of being biased and not taking care of making my own judgments. But that's what has happened. But I think besides the beginning, there's a lot of things that stood out, and it's the inconsistency from the questions that are being placed firstly by lawyer to Gininda, because he's very selective in what he's placing on record, and also the manner he's utilizing that. And I agree with you, Mr. Anonymous, is that there is a tactic, and the tactic is to derail any of the previous witnesses that they've placed on record.
Yeah.
This guy is just smoothing everything. And if we ever thought that this guy does not watch, he watched everything. I'm sure he even goes on a repeat just to make sure that he does his stuff on a team. And I have to disagree with people when they speak about, language it's up to where you either went to school, or it's up to you if you want to speak it better, because you could have gone to a Model C school, but if you wanted to keep your own vernac or your own tone, you'll keep your tone.
Yes.
I didn't go to a Model C school, but I'm sure my English was way different than my other classmates. And it's up to the person. So when we say that he's eloquent and whatever, no. You can still hear that this person is a liar, straight up. Whether you speak smooth English, soft English, a liar is a liar. Whether he speaks British or vernac, you're just a liar. And I think that's the concept of South Africans, is that a black guy speaking good English is what? He's not smart. That's not your IQ. How you speak a language. And we should actually deter ourselves from placing language and how a person is fluent in a language as if it was an IQ, because we are saying then anyone else who doesn't speak like that is dumb. Like we did with the former president. Now people are congratulating him that he was actually smart. It's just that he had the media against him, which is the same case in this one, where propaganda is pushed by media. And we really need as a people to be very careful, because my question, if you compliment someone else's English or how they speak, how is yours? Or do you, because I don't compliment someone else. If you speak a language, you speak it, I can hear you. I want to hear the context and the content in what you're saying.
Yes.
And Gininda, it's true. Someone said that his surname doesn't sound like his voice, and it's so true. I'm sorry. Because when you think about the word Gininda, like how it sounded, I thought it was a big guy, big voice, Zulu voice, or vernac voice. But it sounds close to this other boy who was beaten up, but who was in the house. Ntoko Zisi. Yes, Ntoko. He sounds like him. And Ntoko also he's tall, but it has a very thin frame. He sounds like him. And I was like, it's weird though.
It was a shocker.
But it's a shocker, this one, especially having to hear someone. Now you have to sympathize a voice with the actions. Come on, because the actions of this person is vile. He's subhuman to me. I'm sorry, because I want the defense. One of the things that they must focus on is that this guy has been. Just ask him a question. Have you ever testified in court? Because they normally ask questions like that. Have you ever testified in a court before? Yes, because I don't want them to go directly to this question, because the judge might and Baloy might stand up. Yeah. What's the reason for this? And then ask, have you ever been accused or lost a case similar to this one? Because we all know the Radava one.
Yes. Yes.
In that way, bring that case up, because now it's on record again. The same tactics that you did in that case, which you lost. The trial within a trial they lost, not the main trial. And for me is to raise that thing, because because even if Baloy stands up and say, what's the reason for that question, is like, it's the same guy, same tactics, different people.
Yes.
So which means that he's a serial torturer, or,
confession,
being part of this thing.
Something.
Because it's been done before. And there's records of it. And I think that is where the defense also need to, and you don't even have to go far in many questions of digging and stuff like that. But if you lay that basis, it will throw him off his game, I'm sure. If he listens to these, to your show.
He's sleeping. You must sleep. Tomorrow is a long day. Today is a long day.
Listening to that.
So they might get some tips, of what we sometimes say. That's why I think sometimes I don't want to comment into the future, because, some people are taking notes.
I'm sure you've realized and recognized.
No, I've really seen how even the judge is taking notes. I don't know at what time, but there's notes being taken, because you can hear it in his voice, in what he says. And I think that's one of the worst things that we have been subjected to, is people saying that you can't watch any proceedings, comment on anything, come as if you know nothing. Gininda acts as if he knows nothing. But the information that he gives, even the extra, like the lawyer's done with the question, oh my Lord, just puts in something. Every time there's an opportunity, he does that. And I think at the end of the proceedings today, I might have overheard over the mic, what's Mngomezulu not being very happy with Baloy, and then Baloy said something to, this is how I set up my thing. But if you, I'm paraphrasing, but if you go to the very last, as they were done for the day,
that part. I think
there was a part there where Mngomezulu was like, "Hey, but you, my guy, you're doing things unethical here." And he said that to him, and I was like, okay, you guys are not friends here. You're lawyers, and this guy has been playing dirty. You should know that.
Yes.
Baloy is no one's friend, and you can see him, the way he operates. And I think it's very prudent that this defense starts like the previous caller.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say object to cynical things, because then you're gonna have Rata ranting the whole day. But when they have to, they must object, and they must stand firm, because sometimes I felt that Mngomezulu was objecting, and then he just lets it go.
Yeah.
Even the thing about the cuffs, they should have fought more for, because they could have stated that, Judge, you said that these accused should complain. And one of the things is that Judge Ratat is not omission. He has a duty to uphold the Constitution, and as it happens in the court, that's his jurisdiction. Because anything that happens there is under his auspices. Yes, the people might be under the guidance of the correctional services, but he's the one who has to take, because if anyone is out of order, he rules them out of order. He can throw anyone out.
Yes. No, my man.
Yes, sorry, man.
I'm feeling cold now. Now that electricity is back, the aircon is back. Feeling cold.
Okay, sorry, man. That was long. Sorry.
Cool. Not a problem. Not a problem. Cool. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you for calling.
Sure, bye.
We always enjoy it.
It's a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I see someone's gonna kill me. Let me hear this one before I leave.
I remember well, Nandipa Makutumala's lawyer complained that Nandipa was mishandled by the same warden, and the judge took care of it immediately. What stopped Rata from doing that?
Good question.
Does it mean that white judges have power more than the blacks?
No, Tina, we are corrupt, most of us, but I'm not saying anyone is corrupt. Obviously, I'm saying that we're corruptible. We're like that PC.
For me, it didn't make sense why he needed to respect the decision of the DCS.
No, guys, no, come on, guys.
SAPS.
Don't you
You know,
feel-
he was including everyone, the commissioner. I'm
Don't
like,
you
what?
feel that this thing is kind of discussed behind doors? Don't you feel like
Closed
that?
doors, ne?
Hey, don't you feel that?
It's in big offices, in big high places.
Don't you feel that? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything. I'm just.
It's giving that.
I kind of knew.
The way he was very timid to just make a decision to tell the warden, take off the handcuffs or something. You'll put them back on when it's adjournment, or you'll put them back on when it's time to. And please get the handcuffs you usually used. These new ones.
Zanz, I'm gonna give you a minute,
are not
and
the
then I'm
ones.
out. Hello. Yes. Can I have volume down?
Hello?
Very weird hearing myself.
It is weird.
Hello.
Hello?
Please reduce your volume.
The volume of the TV in the background.
Hello?
We can hear ourselves in the background. Reduce the TV volume.
Just hold on. Yes, it's down now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're speaking to Vusi.
Yes, Vusi. Oh, Vusi.
Yeah. Yes, it's Vusi, yes.
The one who was...
Are you the WADA?
I'd like to differ with the first caller who say that Gininda is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Gininda he sounds like he's a very intelligent person.
Yeah.
Because if you can plan that kind of a case and build it together, you are very intelligent. Because con artists, if I can tell you something, con artists, they are intelligent people. So Gininda is just like a con artist. Very, very intelligent.
I would, if your theory was correct, I would give him his flowers if it was difficult for us sitting here or anyone following this case to figure it out. But anyone can build a case. I can, if I'm given power to be in a certain position, build a case against you. Straightforward, easy. I can do that. But if it was hard for people to actually pick loopholes, that's when I say the guy is brilliant. Do you understand? But if you make it easy to find loopholes, I corner. That's where I differ.
But Anonymous, the way we built a corner the case, we built it from scratch. And we make sure which young into Enzagala lab is according to his experience and his skills. Yeah, boy.
No,
so there are no loopholes.
Let me ask you something.
Well, they were created by his,
let me ask you something.
The people that were working for him. Those are the people that created loopholes.
Let me ask you something.
Drafted it.
Let me ask you something. Nicely. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you think if this case was built, it started with Gininda? If it was
No. It didn't start with Gininda. But Gininda was given a task to build a case.
Okay.
And then he took that task, then he built a case.
And then
he came up with a case.
And then along the way, as you are building your case already, there's allegations that the certain case lost a statement, and you were part of that case allegedly. I mean, already there's recklessness that if there was something like that.
Yeah, you can say that because I think the other thing, Gininda didn't expect that you've come across the such powerful attorneys that will come and defend these guys. He thought these guys would check up maybe legal aid board, like attorneys from they train the attorneys that are still training. So because these guys, they look like people who don't have money.
So let us put this into context.
Yeah, so he was just gonna be walkover.
He built a case. He built a case for low IQ.
Yes, you're right.
Okay,
yes, that's how he did it. He didn't expect this kind of defense to be on board.
Does your statement still qualify that if that is the case? If you are writing a grade 2 test, you just create a paper for grade 2. I'm sure you don't even need to go to university to do that. Maths paper for grade 2, straightforward. 1 + 1 is equals to 2. You understand? Does that mean that we are smart?
Yeah. We can leave that for argument. Yes. Otherwise, thanks very much for a great show. This show is so good. I hope you from here you follow up on the Nandi story.
Okay. No, thank you.
I look forward to that one.
Thank you very much.
Hey,
yes. Thank you.
Well, sure, gonna need a machine.
Well, all that is said here is alleged, guys. That's it. It's alleged, and we are just playing around with scenarios. We don't know anything. And I put my questions, and you put your submissions. Guys, thank you very much for being with us. I think Emily, I need to go. Paul Manjani, thank you. Moodley, thank you. Bakanyo, thank you. Sizwe Nkaka, thank you. Langs M, thank you. And the caller, thank you. All the callers. Colin Love, thank you. Let's see. Butali, thank you. Joe Munare, thank you. Zwa, thank you. You said I must call it like that. I'll call it all the time. Patience, thank you. Ramona, thank you. Cosmos, thank you. Lebza, thank you. Muzwake, thank you. Let's see. Oh, Paul Manjan is there. Diane, thank you. Nefati Ngube, thank you. Let's see. Just going for it. Alsi K Moy, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes. Let's see who's down there. Thank you, guys, all of you, for being here. Else, thank you. That's it, guys. I'm no longer taking calls. Ntuli Tools, thank you. And the regulars, thank you, guys. Thank you, all of you. And those who are still gonna watch, thank you. The morning gang, the liking gang. Thank you guys. Please like the video. Don't forget to like the video. The morning gang obviously always does that. They remember to like the video. That's the first thing they start with. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.